Once the Big Four's race for space ended, most operators were left with a range of surplus sites where they no longer wanted to build new stores, even when they sometimes already had planning permission. Many of these sites were acquired for high prices on the basis of supermarket use and competition at the time, and the subsequent challenge has been about loss minimisation rather than making a profit through selling on. For certain sites, the resurgence of the housing market and a more flexible planning regime has created a ready solution. However, whether developing a cleared site or redeveloping an existing successful store to provide a new supermarket alongside other uses, there are many complexities to consider.
The biggest challenges for repurposing existing food stores into mixed-use developments include viability. Second is planning permission, and finally, the business making the decision to actually implement these schemes, given that their core business is actually trading food stores.
Traditional residential remains the most prominent alternative use for most ex-grocery sites, but we are now seeing some other types of development activity. For more urban locations, sometimes care homes or retirement housing can drive much stronger values than mainstream residential.
I think we're now seeing a greater mix of schemes. Some of the schemes now include student accommodation as well as residential, and they were always, as long as there were other uses which have strong asset values, I believe that you will see a wider mix of schemes. But I still believe for now, given the demand for residential, within different forms such as PRS, that will still be a strong part of these mixed-use schemes going forward.
And in some situations, mothballed sites are being reinvented with a retail use. In Nottingham, a site formerly earmarked for a large supermarket was again bought unconditionally by Wilford Lane Developments, which is constructing a new retail park scheme comprising a Lidl, Pure Gym, Starbucks, and some other small retail units. Whatever the use, viability is, of course, the key.
They are increasingly complex projects to undertake, but one needs to keep an eye on the viability side of things as well as the case for securing planning permission for such schemes.
Planning policy is obviously a key driver in any development scenario. For any major redevelopment, you have to be prepared for the unexpected and always advise on a case-by-case basis, especially if a supermarket operator wants to retain a trading presence.
One of the factors you've got to take into account is the cost of actually replacing these food stores, and secondly, the business disruption, the loss of profits that will be experienced by delivering these schemes on an existing trading site.
Looking ahead, we predict that all of the supermarket operators will look to dispose of more stores. For the Big Four, the continued growth of Aldi and Lidl, as well as M&S, will take some market share away from the existing stores. Profitability will also come under continued pressure from already tight margins and growing costs. The result will be supermarkets continuing to look critically at their weaker stores. Closures seem inevitable in some locations, and this will leave both operators and property owners alike needing market-based alternative use solutions for their surplus properties.